Streaming cyberspace into your place, sanctioned by the Red Light Racing League from Oswego Speedway. It's the Virtual Grip Network's 14th round coverage of the Skitter Creek SK Modified Series Season 13. That's right, 13 events in the book, leaving only tonight and 2 more races before a season champion is crowned. This is only the second time that the Red Lighters have brought the Modifieds to Oswego, with Rex Hoyle the winner then. Eric Stout has a comfortable lead in the points, and unless the lid falls off the teapot, Eric is in good shape to earn his second title. So pull the lever on the Lazy Boy and settle in for the simulated short track racing action that is about to stream your way. Let me offer this warm Empire State hello and welcome on this Thursday night, April 10th, 2025. It is the institution, J.R. Shepard, who joins yours truly, Bill Soups on, up in the VGN broadcast booth to bring you our Words Eye View replay. Ryan Seneca, turning the knobs and pushing the sliders. All right, off we go to Oswego. J.R., what do you know about this place?
Well, Soup, tonight's going to be about avoiding those bumps, or at least trying to control your car while going over them. Oswego is a very bumpy racetrack, and it's something that these drivers will have to keep in mind, especially when they're racing side by side with each other. The other unique thing about this track is that it has inside retaining walls. Normally not a big deal, but tonight the fast lane around this place will be right against that inside wall through the corners. Because of that, I believe tonight is going to be mentally exhausting for these drivers. Some of those guys, they're going to err on the safe side and run slightly higher through the corners, but the price to pay will be a slower lap time. It'll also allow those guys behind you to attempt to make a pass. Ultimately, the drivers that will be fighting for the win tonight will be running right next to that inside wall, but one misjudgment could mean making contact with the wall and potentially ending your night. So, as we approach the end of the season, the last thing a contending driver needs is to get involved in a wreck here.
Indeed, you talked about contending for a win. We hope you enjoyed our twin races last round, where there were 2 50-lap races. Tonight, it's the more traditional fair 100 laps, and we can just have a single winner. Let's go ahead and take a look at the points battle right now. You can see that Eric Stout is going to be comfortably ahead. Lots of winners down there behind them. Stefan has a win. Now, Chad Alcaraz does not. Neither does Kenny Allen. So both those guys like to pick one up before the season is done. You have 3 winners there in a row there with with Brian Bianchi and Jeff Aho. Aho with a good run last time out, finally getting that one done. There's Kid Lemon Lime down there in the 8th position. That is Kenny Allen's younger son. And Josh Buckley, series organizer. And then Rex Hoyle. We talked about Hoyle. These guys have only come here once before, and Hoyle knows how to get it done here. He has a win at this place, the only driver out there tonight with a win. All right, with that said, we're glad you're with us. Beautiful night to go racing. Gives us a chance to look at the track, and there are those inside retaining walls that JR was talking about. What's the tire wear like here, JR? Does it, are pit stops a possibility?
It's a possibility, especially if you're mid-pack or further back, but I believe that it's mostly going to be about track position and trying to stay up front throughout this race. Your tire wear, you can abuse the tires, but I think that's going to be when you start to get outside of that racing group. That's when it's really going to show up and the car's really going to start to mishandle and push up the racetrack if you get too high through the corner. So drivers are going to look to be keeping it nice and tidy while they go around this place.
One of our smaller fields here tonight. Only 18 drivers registered to race. Only 15 of them have put in qualifying times. Bob Higgins, Double Deuce Bruce Pearson, and Andy Lewis did not get in a time. Looks like A.J. Hoyle had the best time, just a tick over 18 seconds to get around this place. Wow, the Lipper, Chris Hazlip, in the number 3. Yeah, he was our slowest qualifier at about 18.4. Boy, that's a nice place. Get your simulated blanket and your simulated lunch, lay it out there, and have yourself a nice little picnic out there on that lawn. Make sure you get off of there before they start to line up, because you don't want to get into any trouble. With that said, let's go ahead and run down the starting order for you right now. It is a pair of teammates on the front row, AJ Hamill and Eric Stout.
Yeah, second row inside, we got Jeff Aho. Outside, Bradley Steffen.
Brian Bianchi will be going in 5th. He's going to be flanked by TJ Henson.
Inside row 4, we got Josh Buckley driving that 13 car. Outside in the 81, Ken Allen.
Brandon Feeney has a win this season. Chad Alcaraz will be flanking him in 10th.
Rolling off in 11th, we got Fred Leclerc. In 12th place, Luke Logan Allen.
In the biggest dozen spot, it's Chris. May I have some more Sir Oliver with Rob Higgins outside of him.
And in row 8 inside, we got Chris Hazlip. Outside that 98 car, Andrew Lewis.
In the number 22, that's why we call him Double Deuce, it's Bruce Pearson. And he's going to have the 43 of Richard. No, it's not Richard Petty. It's Bob Higgins out there. Love the paint scheme. Can we take it? And of course, this grid is brought to you by racedayct.com. If you're in New England and you want some short track information, racedayct.com is the place to go. I always go there, even when I'm not in New England. Let's take a quick look at the number 43 of Bob Higgins there. Love this paint scheme. They come across. That's beautiful. There it is. Very pettyistic.
Yeah, very cool colors. A lot of these guys try to, dress up their cars to look a little bit nostalgic, but yeah, that's definitely one that brings back a lot of memories for me as a young kid.
I bet it does. It's outside there, the Double Deuce Bruce Pearson. AJ Hamill up on front. He's in the 18. The parade lap is done. Glad you were with us as the season starts to wind down. It's been a fun one. BGN has been happy to be part of this 13th season, and we hope we are back to do many more. Love that camera shot. The truck. Boy, that truck has some good handling there. You see it jerk to the left there? My God, that's a car. Gets that truck in the corner. All right. AJ Hamill in control of the field. They wait for the flag man to pull it out and wave green. We'll get it going. They wait. They come out of 4. Boy, they are very patient. The flag man is slow. Gather up the chicken steak covering on the cows because the horses are out of the barn, and it's AJ Hamill that leads the stampede down into the first corner. Stout doing his very best to make that outside line work, but he starts to lose ground. That's given an opportunity then to defending champion Jeff Aho in the 21, trying to get that second position. Stout fighting for all he's worth on the outside. There's room to tuck down in there as Aho backs up a little bit. Stout doesn't want to take it. Inside, back there in the 3rd position on the inside line, that is Brian Bianchi. He's got the 89 of Bradley Steffen to the outside. Lots of winners up front. Finally, Stout finds a position down into 2nd. They start to single file.
Yeah, and one of the things that you're seeing there, especially through turns 3 and 4, is there's not many drivers running the middle lane. That's because there's a super big bump on the exit of turn 4. They are leaving a big gap between themselves if you're on the inside versus that outside lane.
Drill down a little bit on that. The bump will affect the guys that are a little bit to the outside. Is that what you're saying? Coming out of 4?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're running the middle of the track coming out of turn 4, there's a big bump and it will upset the car. The rear end will come around on you and you'll be very lucky if you catch it. So that's why you're seeing the guys in 3 and 4 that are on the outside, they are running a higher line.
Well, the guy who is certainly experiencing that right now is the 62 of TJ Henson. There's no room at the end there as he cannot find a place to sleep. He's going to be out in the manger right now. He's stuck on the outside. There's the 81 of Ken Allen trying to say, not in my watch. You're not coming in front of me. Let me down in here. He's finally Henson is really high.
Yes, so this is very much one of those races where you're looking in your mirror if you're a driver that's on the outside because you're searching for a hole. And if you need to back off the throttle and tap that brake a little bit to get in that hole, that's what you're going to do.
All right, it's junkie racing finally as they are all strung out now. AJ Hamill up in front, Bob Higgins in the back. Everybody's still on the lead lap. We started with 18, we still have 18.
Yeah, right now these drivers, they're being pretty patient with one another. I think they understand that the race tonight is going to be more about battling the track than it is one another. Obviously, track position, I think, is going to be key. You're going to want to finish up toward the front or be up toward the front throughout this whole race. But the biggest way that you make those passes is probably going to be on a start or restart. So I think drivers are really going to be keeping in their mind, am I in an odd position just in case we get a caution?
Well, with that said, we ride on board with the man who's sitting in an even spot. This is Eric Stout. He's in second, and he'd like to see if he can get to an odd spot as he's working on the back of his teammate, A.J. Hamill, trying to go from 2 to 1. Back there in an odd spot is Jeff Aho, happy to be in third. Good camera shot there.
Yeah, absolutely awesome shots tonight. And you can see Eric Stout's moving around. Even though he's got Jeff Aho right behind him, Stout is searching around, trying to find out something that he can do slightly different than A.J. Hamill. But right now, Hamill is running some extremely good laps. He's keeping a nice little gap between himself and Stout so that he can run the line that he wants to.
Of course, experience is very important, but nothing beats youth and exuberance. Let's look at car number 6. This is Kid Lemon Lime, Luke Logan Allen. He's up 3 spots. Nobody's up more than him. He's got Chad Alcaraz behind him. It's a couple car lengths away before, well, he gets to Pops. Ken Allen racing in 8th.
Yeah, and we've seen the two tangle early in the season. It's not happened for a while, but Luke has some raw speed. It's amazing the type of speed that he has, and he does not have tons of experience on these tracks, but he finds a way to go from the back to the front in many cases. I've seen him get in accidents and then come back through the field.
He'd be faster than his dad if Pops would let him race the good rig, but that's not how it works right now. Good battle. Luke looking underneath. Can you hear Ken saying, son, take out the trash? That's what's going on right now. The number 6 looking for a spot back behind him in what we like to call the popcorn position. Chad Alcaraz in the 17. Best racing on the track right now. Father and son.
It is, and the bad thing about this place is there's not a great way to move over, get out of somebody's way to where you only lose 1 spot. If you realize that driver behind you is just so much faster, in a race like this that's 100 laps long, you'll tend to give them a little bit of room and move over. But if you do that here, you're going to go to the back, I feel, because like I talked about early in the race, the higher you get through the corners here, I believe the more you're going to upset that right front tire, get it hot, and the car is going to start to push and push and push, and it's only going to get worse. So you don't want to run that higher line very long.
We're looking at that battle for third, right? Well, I guess it's 4th. Oh, it's a battle for 6th. There we go. It is Joshua Buckley with TJ Henson on his tail.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got the top 3 have pulled away. 4th place, Brian Bianchi. He's kind of running by himself out there for the most part right now. And then you've got the rest of the pack that's kind of closing in. So this is going to be another type of track, and we've seen it multiple times this season, where you're going to be able to kind of spot who's holding somebody up because you start to see those large gaps, open up between cars.
Let's go to this father-son battle here again. I think the kid is using up his tires. I think Dad out in front is saying, son, we are only on lap number 20 here. Luke is working really hard, up 3 spots. I want to go 2 cars back and talk about this guy. BRLers will enjoy this. We don't get to talk about success much from Chris Hayslip this season, but he's up 4 spots right now. He's having a good run. He likes Oswego. Coming up on that battle that involves Alcaraz and the 2 Allens.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, number 1, we know Hayslip's got a lot of time in the modifieds, but 2, BRL runs a lot of short tracks just constantly, and Oswego's one of them that they've been to multiple times. So having that history with a track allows you to be able to know what to expect, where to place your car, and just how long to wait in a 100-lap race before you start to make your moves.
Oh, let's look back. Working on Kid Lemon Lime now, diving it down in there deeper than Buddha's belly button is Chad Alcaraz. He gets side by side with the number 6. Kid Lemon Lime trying to make that outside line work. It may work through 1 and 2, but we know what's going to happen when he gets around to 3 and 4. He's going to have a hard time keeping it in the right direction. And look at that. Here comes the lipper underneath. We talked about how many spots the 93 is up. Chris Hayslip gets 1 more. This also might be a case of Luke Logan just, oh, careful guys, stay off each other. Hayslip and Allen get very close together. Might be a case of Kid Lemon Lime working real hard behind his dad. Maybe heated up the tires.
Yeah, and it's very possible because it is going to be difficult to pass. Can you pass? Absolutely, but it is difficult to do so. And if you start working really hard behind a guy trying to make that pass, that's exactly what could happen. You could overheat your stuff, you get slightly up the racetrack, and then look, he's been stuck on that outside line this entire time and just continues to fall back.
So that's what's happened there. The battle we were looking on, TJ Henson and Joshua Buckley, has cooled down a little bit. Henson now out in front, feeling comfortable.
Yeah, one thing I haven't touched on a whole lot, Soup, I saw Luke almost make contact. He did a nice job on corner exit off of 2 a little while ago, but the walls on this straightaway, they are not straight. They are wavy, and there's a couple of places that really jute out on the straightaway. And if you miscalculate that, your car is going to hit that hard and then get sucked in, and it's going to destroy the car. It's going to rip off the suspension on the right front especially. So these drivers are trying to keep that in mind anytime that they get put in that outside lane. I have to be focused on how to exit that corner, otherwise that wall is going to come up really quick.
Great camera shot. We look there at Rob Higgins, who is racing in 13th spot. He's got a hornet's nest in front of him. It will not be long until his brother, Bob Higgins, who's racing in last in that number 43 Petty Painted's car. Well, we may see some lap traffic here as we've been green now for 30 laps. Leaders are going to be coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, they absolutely are, and it's going to be difficult for them. They want to make sure that they time that move correctly, because if they don't, they may just get held up into a position where that car behind is able to dive underneath them on corner exit and make the move. And that's not what you want if you're somebody that's been leading this race like A.J. Hamel. So he's going to be thinking about that as he approaches those lap traffic.
Stout has been looking on the back of Hamel, but that's not where we want to go. Right now, the people who are putting on the show are back here mid-Packers, which is so often the case. This is so often some of the best racing is back here. That's the 38 of Brandon Feeney, inside of Chris Hazlip. Now, Hazlip had picked up 6 spots before he loses that one, so now he's only got 5 to his credit. Back there looking on is Fred Leclerc. And don't forget about that yellow-flavored machine back there, number 40 of Rob Higgins.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys are putting on a great battle, and a lot of times it's because, you know, the best battles happen back here because you have so many drivers that are turning nearly the same lap time. So they're always stuck with each other, and they're fighting to get around one another. And if one of them makes just a slight mistake, that opens up the possibility for what we're seeing here on screen and some passes being made.
Let's go ahead and look at car number 81. You want a testament to a father's love? Well, when your son gets stuck on the outside, what's a dad going to do? Well, he's going to drop back down and come back to visit him. So both Alan and Alan back there racing in 15th and 16th, just ahead of Andy Lewis, and it will not be long before the leaders get there.
No, and that's something that they've got to be thinking about, and that's another reason why you're seeing the jockeying for positions back here. It's going back and forth. These drivers realize how far behind the leader they are and that it will not be long before that leader catches them. We do have lucky dogs in this series, but you do not want to have to rely on that. You want to be a car that is on the lead lap just in case a caution comes out. You are not missing much up front. Stout is stalking Hamel and their teammates, and he's looking for a way around, but pretty right now it's more of a, well, just investigating, just testing out the water. The action was back where we're recovering, a little farther back. Starts about, back there with Higgins and Leclerc and Feeney. In the wall is the number 6 of Luke Logan Allen, right in front of Dad. That's going to allow the number 98 to get in there, Andy Lewis. Go. Yeah, he hit it pretty good. He lost a lot of momentum, but I'm not sure if that's going to be something that's going to really hurt him. If anything, he may have knocked the toe out just a little bit, so going to be a little bit more stable on corner entry, but that's just going to make the car a little more tight as he gets higher up in the corner.
Tip of the hat to Chris Oliver. We cut to it a little bit late. There was a 3-wide situation with Oliver on the inside. It was not of his making, and he said, I don't want any part of this. He lifted, and he let the 2 cars go by that are fighting right now. That's Pearson. Oh, a pair of BRLers. Boy, these guys have a lot of experience racing together. This is Bruce Pearson and Chris Hazlip. Pearson gets the best of that one. Pearson on the move. Started in 17th position, now in 12th.
Yeah, absolutely. He's moving up quick in this race. We're not even to halfway, and like I've talked about many times, Bruce is always a driver that seems to find his way toward the front later in the race. We don't always talk about him early, but later in the race we start to see him move forward.
There's that battle. Tip of the hat to everybody. 41 laps of green flag racing. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, Soup. It's been rare this season, right, that we've had some really good green flag racing, and tonight these drivers are doing it on a very, very difficult racetrack.
Well, maybe a bit of a smaller field makes it a little easier. Okay, our contract with Red Light Racing requires us to put the camera on the leader at least once per race. So let's go ahead and look at AJ Hamill right now. Stout looks to be faster, and it's just doing a little sister racing back there. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. Just pestering his teammate of AJ Hamill.
Yeah, and honestly, Soup, I really believe, Hamill's led a ton of laps this season, but he only has the one win. And a lot of weird things have happened that have kind of taken him out of that, but I'm sure that's in his mind. I think right now that he's doing a really good job of just trying to manage that gap, stay about a half car length ahead of Stout, and in return take care of his tires, so he's got the maneuverability that he will need here at the end of the race to be able to hold off Stout.
Well, if you're familiar with short track racing, you would think watching this series that AJ Hamill and Eric Stout being up front would be probably in the safest position, and the guys racing back there in the middle would not be. Really has not been the case. Nobody is safe. Leaders have been taken out with regularity this season, and so AJ Hamill and Eric Stout are both aware of that. They've both been victim of that. You gotta wonder if defending champ Jeff Aho is just back there. He's about 6-7 car lengths back. Maybe just biding his time.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Jeff's had a rough season too, and he's admitted it in interviews with us. But he's probably and there's contact. Back in the pack, we see the 52 of Oliver going around. I believe that was off the nose of Chris Hazlett there.
So we get our first caution. The Lipper involved in it, as can I have some more Sir Oliver involved in it. He's going to come out. Does he lose a lap? I believe he will.
Yeah, and that was one of those situations. Looked like Oliver was trying to make the pass on the inside, slid up just a little bit through the center. Chris thought that he'd be able to do like the crossover move and get back underneath him, but it just was too close right there. He just did not have his right front tire all the way to the inside.
Oh, Katie bar the door, coming in for pit. AJ Hamill, Eric Stout, Aho. Oh my goodness.
I'm surprised by this, Suit, but obviously these drivers are feeling stuff through the car that they did not like, and that could be that front end having less and less rotation or turn in it. So obviously they feel like they have to get tires if they want to win this race, but in doing so, they've given track position to several drivers that stayed out.
Bless the hearts of Chad Alcaraz, Joshua Buckley, Brandon Feeney, Fred Leclerc. My goodness, look at JR. Look at all the drivers that stayed out. Now, we have about half the race to go, and new tires are good, but my goodness, they're going to be, guys with fresh rubber are going to be back in, I guess, about 10th or 11th spot.
Yeah, right now I think the highest up is going to be in 9th spot.
Yeah, now we have, now maybe we have some takers the second time around. Boy, you can't miss the boat. You cannot pit the second time around.
Well, and it's a good point. So this is such a small track, and the pit road is so long that you spend a lot of time just coming down pit road to, say, get a gallon of gas. So I would think that some of those drivers in the very back of the field realized that. They ran one more lap, so they were then the lead cars coming to pit road so that they wouldn't potentially lose a lap while being down there. So kind of a heads-up move. It looks weird, but it's kind of heads up there.
Again, folks, I have been broadcasting for longer, sim race broadcasting for longer than I care to admit, and I continue to get impressed by the analysis of my partner. Very insightful. I think you're absolutely right. The guys in the back were worried about going a lap down. So, when we look at this now, guys who did not pit, and it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Buckley, Feeney, Leclerc, Pearson, and well, I say Snell. Certainly not Stout. Top 4 and 12th place. We'll bring up my favorite graphic here in a minute to show you. Josh Buckley in control of the field. They call him Granny Hips. As you see, Josh, he does, in his youth, he could do an amazing electric slide. Not so much anymore. He's out in front. He's got Fred Leclerc stalking him on the inside. Stuck on the outside, that's Brandon Feeney in the 38. Nowhere for him to go. Now look at this. Stout somehow has managed not only to come in and get, well, at least right sides, but he's also gotten around his teammate A.J. Hamill. Stout looks to be in good position. Only 3 cars between him and the lead. 2 cars between him and the lead.
Yeah, and Sloop, A.J. Hamill, I saw he had something happen on pit road. I don't know if he was speeding. Eric Stout's diving to the inside.
Oh!
And around goes Leclerc.
Oh,
big mess.
There's some justice. A Stout turned Leclerc, and then the racing gods did their own form of justice, as it was Jeff Aho who came in there to punish Stout for that. And poor Jeff Aho has a right tire that's barely attached.
Yeah, Aho just in the wrong place at the wrong time. There's nothing he could do, and he gets the most damage out of anybody on that issue. But yeah, that's going to rearrange the whole field. And I was just talking about Hamill having an issue in the pits. That's why he was so far back. But it actually rewarded him in this situation, because I believe he's going to be running around 4th place now.
Sometimes bad news can get turned into good news. We talked about it, that you're not safe. Now, it wasn't the leader. Bradley, Josh Buckley was okay with that, but that happened behind him.
Yeah, and that's going to move TJ Henson up into the 2nd place, and Hamill's actually going to be in 3rd place, which is exactly where he wants to be. He'd definitely rather be in 3rd place than 4th place on this restart. So that's going to put him in the best position. And as I say that, the leader's going to come down pit road. So, yeah, now Hamill's in 2nd place. He's back on that outside.
My goodness. Joshua Buckley said, it was fun up there. Got a little bit of screen time out in front, but I was not going to be able to handle with those tires. So with that said, that's going to put E.J. Henson on the lead. And then Mama Allen, your husband and son, going to be racing, I think, 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, and realistically, I think we've only got about 8 cars that don't have some type of damage on them. Obviously, a lot of the cars are going to have light damage. I don't think it's going to affect them very much once we get racing. But, yeah, only 8 guys, I think, that really have a clean race car. And usually when stuff like this happens, that means it's going to be green flag to the end of the race. So those drivers on fresh rubber, they're looking really good right now. Which I think the latest that anybody had pitted that is out there is lap 49. So everybody's kind of good on tires.
The front 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars have been out there for about 10 laps. Everybody else came in there on this last stop. They're doubling up. Pair of drivers whose parents had no imagination when it came to naming their children and just could only give them initials. We have TJ and AJ on the front row. All right, we're going green, working lap number 60.
Oh, and you see AJ, he's going to fight hard. The outside lane has not been the lane that has prevailed so far, but he is fighting hard. He wants to get down to the bottom of this racetrack, and the only way he can do it right now is to try to make an outside pass.
You want to know how fast these guys were in qualifying? TJ was 6th fastest. AJ, of course, was our pole sitter. That's not going to help him. Now, here is Luke Logan Allen underneath. Dad is tucked in behind him. We saw the number 6 in the wall. We thought it might have been damaged, but of course he's come into pit lane, so maybe he's had some repairs done on it. Boy, there's no speed, though, for the 6 down the front straight, and the 18 of A.J. Hamill is trying to get out in front. My goodness, this is good racing. Now, this is the farthest up we've seen Luke Logan race all season long. as he's fighting now in second position. Whose tires are going to give up first, inside or outside, JR?
Oh, I would think the outside lane, but overall, Hamill has had more pace than both Allens have. So possibility he could pull this off, but the longer he stays out there, the worse that car is going to handle. And he's fighting hard, but if he can't clear him here in the next lap or two, I think he's going to start to fall back. It looks like he may have him cleared.
Finally got him little by little. He was inching around the outside line. That might have been a case of more talent under the worst racing line and lesser talent on the preferred line. Nevertheless, I don't want to diminish what both Allens have done right now. Say race third and fourth.
No, and you know, I talked about a race going green, but these guys are racing hard back here in the pack. And you've got drivers like Eric Stout who have a ton of speed trying to come back through the field as well. So there's still a high likelihood that we're going to get another caution because these drivers are looking to the inside of each other each and every turn.
Indeed. Stout, of course, with that comfortable lead, but there's still plenty of time. We've seen things go ugly late, and Stout does not have this thing wrapped up yet.
No, absolutely. Anytime you got a season-long championship, you can see a driver get way out there in points, way out ahead of everybody, and then have several bad races. There's always the possibility that somebody can overcome that lead.
We started with 18-12 on the lead lap right now, the last one of those being Bob Higgins.
Yeah, we're riding on board with AJ here. You can see the line that he's running. It's a line that is extremely fast. You see how much time he makes up on TJ Henson through the center of the corner by running that line. Right now, he just has nowhere to carry that momentum, nowhere to really go.
Oh, it's one of the Allens going around. He's going to save it. Bradley Steffen is going to get turned, and that's going to bring it out. Also involved in it is Chad Alcaraz. It was Steffen and the elder Allen had a little dispute over who belonged to where on the track. Alcaraz on the inside, drifts up, and gets Kim.
Yeah, and, you know, there's a couple of things. Not really one driver at fault there, but a couple of things. Obviously, you're trying to want to block that driver that's getting the run coming off the corner, so you move to the inside. Now, you don't fully block him, so he's still able to get there, but when he gets there, he is so low on the straightaway that it's an extremely low, shallow entrance that he's trying to take, and the car just will not stick on that inside, so that's why you see Steffen move back up the track. So it's really just hard racing that occurred right there. Unfortunately, a lot of drivers got involved in the back of the pack.
Could have been worse for Ken, though. He got hit. He did not lose a position. He was in fourth when the accident happened, and that's where he is right now. Okay, they pay us to play it straight. We're not supposed to play favorites here, but I can't help but be a little excited for a man that I've been calling a lot of races on. Finally, Chris Haislip having a decent run in the 93, up there in fifth, and sitting on an odd spot on this restart.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tougher for those outside drivers on this restart because they've had a heat cycle go through those tires. The tires are going to behave and react a little bit differently. They are going to cool down, and that usually gives you lap time, but they're going to also heat back up faster than they did originally. So it's going to be very, very short-lived, the drivers that are on that outside line. They've got to make the moves happen quick here.
Well, remember, we saw the battle between A.J. Hamill and Luke Logan Allen, and Kid Lemon Lime had to surrender Casper on that one eventually. It's going to happen one more time now with Hamill going to be outside of row one. Now, of course, he'd like to get a good start and maybe put the pressure on Henson, but at least he'd like to be able to tuck down into second.
Yeah, he definitely wants to be able to come out in at least second place, but in this league, we know that the leader has lane choice, but we always go on the green flag, so the leader does not have a big advantage. So AJ is going to be focused on trying to get a good reaction time here, better than what TJ does, and if he can do that, he's got a shot at it. It's not a guarantee, but it's a good shot.
Real quick, JR, are old tires hard to get the power down on in this situation?
They're not in this league. You can go wide open. You're not going to spin the rear tires under acceleration.
I look at that as I say that right now. Kid Lemon Lime right on the back of TJ Henson. He's looking to get a good start. Look what the number 6 has done. He is right there. There is no room. Here comes Kid Lemon Lime. Luke Logan Allen underneath. Can he make it stay underneath? He's trying to go from third to first. 3 wide. That never works. But somehow they're making it work. New leader coming across the line. It's Luke Logan Allen, but he's tied down in there. Is he going to lose momentum? My goodness, they're going to race 3 wide now for a whole lap. Coming around a lap and a half. The number 62 says, I do not like being in the middle, and he backs out. TJ Henson tucks underneath. Now, can AJ Hamill find some room down? There's no room because Henson has pulled right in behind Luke Logan Allen. My goodness. And there is Chris Hazlett. Hazlett gets into Hamill, but they straighten it out.
Oh, and they're going to go around entering turn 3. Hazlett tried to rejoin, and there just wasn't enough room. He's going to correct Josh Buckley there. But going back to that race for the lead, I cannot stress to those who are watching at home how difficult it was to go 3 wide around this track. Fantastic driving up front as we watch what brought out the caution here.
And it was not the 3 wide guys that brought it out. There was Hazlett taking a dive underneath. And he collected the number 13.
Yeah,
Joshua Buckley.
I'll be fair to Hazlett here. I've been in that situation where your car's gotten way out of shape. You're trying to rejoin. You're trying to do it as safe as possible, but there's just nowhere to go, and just a slight miscalculation on where those cars on the outside actually were as you're trying to get back in line, and that's why the contact happened. It's unfortunate there for Buckley, though, because he was having a good race back through the field.
It's been said that old age and treachery beats youth and exuberance every time. Maybe not the case right now. Luke Logan Allen, sitting up in front, started in 12th. He's been in the wall, but somehow has managed to race to the front. His dad, Ken, sits on the 81 outside of row 2. Now, what I wanted to ask you there on that restart was there if they're probably getting powered down with the old rubber, because Luke Logan Allen was right behind TJ Henson when they go. They left like they were tied together.
Yeah, on the initial start on the straightaways there, you're not going to have any problem going wide open. You're going to have the problem through the corners of reapplying that throttle. As you're cornering, the load's changing on the car, and you're accelerating. The tires are hard. They're getting old. That's when they'll slip and slide. But coming to the green flag, you can go wide open. So if you time things correctly, it can really work out in your favor. And Luke Logan did that on that restart. And the thing is, these are momentum race cars. You know, we're only about 400 horsepower in these things. So it's all about who gets to that throttle first. And you're going to have a huge advantage as you go down into turn 1.
All right, we are at lap number 80. We've got a 20-lap sprint.
Yeah, and what I'm seeing here, AJ Hamill's now going to restart third. I think that's exactly where he wants to be compared to being on the outside. So he's got the advantage here, and Luke's going to have to be thinking, is AJ going to do what I just did on the last restart?
Yeah, I was a little bit worried there when the kid made it 3 wide, but he made it work. Okay, here we go. Ooh, lagging back a little bit is TJ Henson, trying to get a little momentum there. They wait, they go. That's a pretty good restart. No advantage to either line right now. It is Allen on the inside and Henson on the outside. Behind them, it is AJ Hamill with Dad Allen on the outside. Watch out for the number 40 there, watching in 5th position. He's very fast as well. Advantage now to the top side. Watch this battle for the lead. Oh, maybe got a little bit of the inside wall was Allen.
Just a little bit there, and he's running he's running that shallow entry, and that's going to hurt his speed through the center of the corner. That's going to help TJ Henson on that outside line this time, and I think TJ's going to have the lead going into 1, almost there. He's got it.
He got him. You know, we've seen Kid Lemon Lime lose on that inside battle a couple times. He lost once as he had AJ Hamill stuck in there. Now he loses it to TJ Henson, but he races in 2nd. Now, oh, good momentum off of 4 for AJ Hamill. Hamill with all sorts of momentum, but nowhere to go. Then he has to check up, and it almost brings him back into the crutches of Rob Higgins.
Yeah, and that's always a fear in a momentum type race car, is that if you ever have to check up, it takes a little while to get back going, and that guy behind you can run right into the back of you. We see a lot of movement back here in the middle of the pack. Drivers trying to make things work, but we saw the 89 of Stefan there actually hit that bump off of 4. That's where that wiggle came from.
Oh, the 17 is going around. He got into it with the 89 of Bradley Stefan. The caution comes out. Chad Alcaraz just tried to move up a little bit, and he got caught, and around he went.
Yeah, just a couple of drivers trying to go for the same track position. Everybody trying to get in line this late in the race, and it just didn't work out, just inches away from making it work.
Came underneath. Everybody else gets through okay. That's the last thing that A.J. Hamill wanted, because now he's stuck out there again on the outside.
Yeah, and he had just made that pass for second place too, so that's what's going to be a little frustrating to him. But he knows that the outside line worked on that last restart. If he can get a good restart here, he has a shot at it. It's not worked so far, but we continue to put heat cycles on these tires. That means each and every time these cars are going to be handling just a little bit different. It's a little bit of an unknown who's got the advantage, the driver on the inside or the outside.
Well, you know, it was so exciting when they tried it the first time that the racing gods have lined them up one more time in the exact same order that gave us the 3 wide with Henson and Hamill on the front row with Luke Logan Allen right behind Henson. Now, last time this happened, Kid Lemon Lime was right on the back of the 62. And there was no room for A.J. Hamill to get down, and then they lost momentum racing 2 wide, and Lemon Lime took underneath.
Yeah, and I'm going to bet that TJ's going to remember that now that he's back in that lead spot, and I would say that he's probably going to come to this green flag a little bit lower on the racetrack than what he took it last time. That way that that 6 car does not have enough room to get up and under it before turn 1.
Poor TJ Henson, he's got so much to worry about. He's got to look to his right for A.J. Hamill, who is incredibly fast, and then the youngster behind him there of Logan Allen. There are green-white checkers here in this series, so if they do happen to have an incident, we'll try to finish this thing under green. This has been a good one.
It's been exciting. I don't have a whole lot of history with this racetrack, but it's definitely been an exciting and entertaining race. Hopefully these last few laps make it just a little bit more of what we've seen already.
You talk about history, neither do these guys. This is only the second time that they've come to this track. All right, here we go. We're to be working lap number 90 when we go green. Hang on there, AJ. Don't get out there too far. And we go. All right, once again, Kid Lemon Lime right back in behind the number 62, and he's going to get it done. He gets a good drive off of 2 this time. Stuck on the outside is Hamill.
Yeah, Hamill's fighting hard trying to make it work, but it looks like the outside is just getting worse as we get more heat cycles into this tire, and he's going to allow Luke Logan to go right by him. He's going to try to get down into 3rd, but Chris Hazlip's there.
That fluorescent blue number 93 of the Lipper brought it down in there and says, not this way with only 10 to go. I have to force the issue. The 93 almost drifts up in the 18. The front 2 are starting to pull away. The best news for Henson and Allen is this battle that's going on for second. And now drifted up is the 40. He catches into Hamill. They go around Higgins. And my goodness, it's an octopus putting on his socks. You can't tell what's going on.
Oh, it's a big, big mess, and it's another race that we're going to see where A.J. Hamill led so many laps, and then something just doesn't go his way toward the end of the race. We look back here at the contact that's going to happen, and actually it's the 40 touching that inside wall, and it kind of shot him back up the track. That's something we talked about early on in the opening. That could happen here.
Inside wall, not a self-cleaning, it's a self-dirtying track.
Yeah, and you can see right from that angle, the part of the wall he hit is a part of the wall where the radius of the inside wall is not exact. It kind of has a point to it, and that is what the 40 car actually hit. And you say, well, why couldn't he see it? Well, he was directly behind another car, and that's kind of blocking his vision. You don't see it until it's too late to react to it. And yeah, just the left front barely making contact with that. And that's what shot him back up the track.
21 laps down, but giving the wave around for the lucky dog is Bruce Pearson. Attaboy, Bruce. Well, this time, Luke Loganell is going to be on the outside. Chris Hayslip inside of row 2.
Chris has been very, very racy in this one so far, so would not surprise me at all if he doesn't try to make a 3-wide move at some point, because why not? Like, this is not an opportunity that you get every week, so why not try to go for it?
And to be honest with you, TJ Henson has not been blinding on these restarts. When he comes off of 2, the car does not have a lot of momentum. There's a lot of good runs off there. This will be fun. We are working lap number 96. And they come across the line. Look for a big mover. Up 12 spots is Hayslip. In fact, he's the biggest one out there. We have not talked a lot about real quick. We give some love here to Andy Lewis in the 98. We don't give a lot of time to him. Well done. He started in 16th position. Inside of row 3. More spots to pick up. Well done, Andy. Good to see you.
Yeah, that's a good looking car too. It's got a lot of little fine detail to the camouflage look there. I like it.
It might also be a coincidence that J.R. Shepherd is notorious for running the 98.
Looks nice.
Could be subliminal. All right, here we go. Lap 97 when they come across the line. They wait. Oh, they are incredibly slow. Now they go. Henson with the jump. Look at the momentum now on the outside. Oh, he's going around. Save it, Kid Lemon Lime. Oh, my goodness. What effervescence from the number 6. And he fights back now. Hayslip could not make up the opportunity to get that spot. Finally, the 6 is going to tuck in on the outside line now. Here comes Hayslip on the inside. This is good news for Henson. Keep fighting behind me, boys, because I only got a couple more laps to go to pick up my first win of the season. On the inside, the number 93 gets the best of the 6. Moves Hayslip up into 2nd position. Now Kid Lemon Lime running, doing the best he can. Here comes Granny Hips, Joshua Buckley underneath. Meanwhile, working with 2 laps to go, 6 corners between him and his first win of the season is TJ Henson. Through 3, through 4, down the front stretch, 4 corners to go. Nobody's going to get him. Oh, my goodness. It's said that in every driver there is one pure, authentic race. It's something that you cannot learn. You have to. It cannot be taught. You have to be born with it. And now with only 2 corners to go, an example of that pure, authentic race is going to be TJ Henson, and he's going to win round number 14.
Yeah, big win for him. First win of the season there. Chris Hayslip, he's going to come home in 2nd place. Best finish of the season, and that might be the best finish of the season for Josh Buckley as well in 3rd.
Yes. Who are these guys? Oh, you want to come back for the interviews? We're going to get to talk to some new voices. With that said, the racing is over. Our broadcast is not. We'll take a short break, come down and run the finishing order up, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. You're watching the Virtual Grip Network. Welcome back to Oswego Speedway and the Virtual Grip Network's 14th round coverage of the Skitter Creek SK Modified Series Season 13. The results are in for this round. Let's give them to you right now. He started in 6th position. He gets the win. That's his best result of the season. We're talking about TJ Henson. Chris Hazlett started in 15th, comes home in 2nd. That's best result of the season for him as well. Granny Hips, Jocks Buckley in his number 13 started in 7th, brings it home in 3rd. Well done there. Rounding out your top 5, Luke Logan Allen, who raced incredibly well. He gets 4th in front of Andy Lewis. Andy, we didn't get to see much of you, but nice job on a 5th place finish. Back half of your top 10, Rob Higgins, Chad Alcaraz, Bob Higgins, Papa Allen Ken will come home in 9th with Fred Leclerc rounding out your top 10. GR?
Yeah, coming home in 11th place tonight, we got Chris Oliver. We saw him involved in an accident. A.J. Hamill leading a lot of laps again tonight. He comes home in 12th. Bradley Steffen, he comes home in 13th place, 9 laps down. Bruce Pearson comes home in 14th. Eric Stout, your points leader, he has a disappointing night, comes home in 15th place. Brian Bianchi, he will come home in 16th. Jeff Aho, 17th place, and Brandon Feeney rounding out your field in 18th tonight.
With that said, we're going to dial up TJ Henson, our race winner. TJ, we got to talk to you back in round number 4 when you got a 3rd place at Concord, but now we get a win. So this is going to be a great conversation. Congratulations.
Thank you. Oh my. I honestly still can't believe this. It's literally been years since I last won a race against human people.
Well, I want to talk to you about that because I was looking over. I cannot figure out what kind of driver you are. I look at there, I see an occasional top 5. Like, you get one of those like 3 or 4 times. But mostly I'm looking at 15ths and 16ths back there, and then this win. So it sounds like you were surprised by it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I honestly didn't expect to do too well this week. I guess I've always been very decent at the flat tracks. It's been more of my style of track. But I'm honestly, in that last 25 laps, I'm like, I'm going to screw this up somehow.
Well, let me tell you this. The win is impressive, but equally as impressive, I think you went at least 6 corners, 3 wide. That was well done.
Oh, absolutely. And I think I also didn't get a single incident point, which is impressive for me.
You got to restart on the inside every time, but you were not crushing it. They were making you work it.
Except for that one time where I had to overtake Luke Logan on the outside. I think he had a damaged car, so that's probably why I was able to get him around the outside. But if he didn't have a damaged car, I don't think I would have got him.
Well, you raced up front. It was fun. 3 wide for 6 corners. The car is clean. That's always nice. Well done, baby. We'll talk to you again.
I hope so. I like it.
I like it too. Well done. Good job. TJ Henson, your winner here today. JR, what you got?
Oh, I'm standing here with Chris Hazlett. Chris, man, congratulations on that 2nd place run. You moved up through the field more than anybody, 13 spots tonight. What was the difference with that? Was it being patient or taking care of the tires? What'd you have there?
I got kind of fortunate about halfway through the race. I felt good. I actually picked up several places, JR, and then my tires got hot and I fell back a few, but about middle of the race, I went in and got a new set of tires, and I tell you, at the end, I really would have liked to have 2 or 3 more laps because they were really hooked up on the inside.
Absolutely, and I got to ask you, because I know your background with other racing leagues like BRL, does it make a big difference running these short tracks each and every week, and then also being able to run 100-lap races knowing that you have no tires like you have in some of the other leagues?
It does, and we have to save our tires in BRL, and I've kind of learned to do that. Todd List and some of those guys have talked to me and helped me a little bit. Bruce Pearson's really helped me a lot with it. And knowing I was on 50 lap tires, so it really made a difference. And only thing I hate is I bumped Chris Oliver early on and spun him. And then Joshua and I got together, but he and I were talking about it. And I really believe I was coming off the bottom from almost spinning out, and he didn't know it. And he cut down, and he and I both said we thought it was just a racing deal.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I've been in similar situations. It's just one of those things where there's not a good outcome, no matter what. Nowhere for you to really go there. But I'm gonna let you go on this one. So next time out, next week, you guys go to Stafford. I know that's a track that you've been to several times. What are your thoughts going back there in this car, but also knowing that you got to run 150 laps next time?
I'm looking forward to it. I really didn't. I can't remember much about Stafford, to be honest with you. But I don't know if you noticed, JR, but I don't qualify as good as sometime in practice. But it seems like in a race, if I get a rhythm, so maybe I'll be able to get a good rhythm on Stafford.
Oh, that's a good thing to have. Make your way through the front. Take your time. Be patient with it, and it'll work out with you. Maybe we'll get to talk to you again next week, man.
All right, and I just want to thank VGN. All you guys do an awesome job. I know Soup ain't supposed to pull for me, but I think he pulls for me a little bit. And I just want to thank you, JR, and all the racing, all the lapping me you did through the years to help me get a little better.
No, I appreciate that, man. Been fun racing with you. Been fun watching you out here. And, man, congratulations. Great run you had here tonight.
Thank you, buddy. Hope you have a great night.
All right, you too, man. All right, guys, that's Chris Hazlip, our second place finisher. Who you got now, Soup?
Just to be clear, VGN loves all the drivers equally, no matter how well we know them. Well, except when they're one of the guys who pays our paycheck, then we like them a little more. And that's Joshua Buckley. Granny hips. Well done. Second podium of the season, baby.
Yeah, not too bad. Can't complain.
I want to talk about pit stop strategy there. You, if I remember right, you were up in front and you kind of came in. You were the last guys to make a stop.
Yeah, I was planning to pit a little later. I was actually surprised to see as many people pit as they did there.
As were we.
So it was one of those. I was a little shocked, but I'm like, I'm probably going to wait for another caution. Figured, the way the race ran to start, we'd probably get another little green flag run there. But didn't happen. But obviously, I saw some of the guys with the fresher tires making their way through. So I'm like, I might as well come in and get them now.
Did you not pit from the lead, if I remember right? Weren't you out in front when you decided to come in?
Yep.
Yeah, that was we were happy for you, but a little bit discouraged because we always like to see you run well. You don't come to Oswego very often. It's a new track. How do you like it for the series?
It's a handful. It's definitely a different track style to learn how to drive. Obviously, I wasn't the fastest in qualifying or anything like that, but it's just keep learning on it. But yeah, I mean, the setup is pretty good. It's just figuring out how to drive it, and once I started figuring it out, and obviously getting lucky on the bottom there.
I'll get you out of here on this one. You're one of the series organizers. What's involved with the schedule about choosing tracks? Is there a committee, or do you get final say on it? How does that work?
It's a work between us three admins, as well as every season we put out a survey with different questions on things drivers might like to see for next season or ideas. And a lot of times drivers will give their input if they'd like to see this track or they don't want to see this track, then things like that. So we incorporate all of that into it.
How's that road course holding up for next season? Is that still a possibility?
He's in there.
All right. Let's make this commentator happen. Well done. Good to see you finish third. And your series is putting on a good show. Well done.
Thank you. Just want to make a quick shout out. My youngest daughter, Caitlin, happy birthday to her. She's turning 10 today. So thank you guys.
Turning 10. Well, good deal. Happy birthday, Caitlin.
I'm getting old.
Yeah, there you go. Introduce her to Luke Logan Allen. All right. With that said, I hope you enjoyed the broadcast. If you didn't, we'll try to do better next time. And when is next time going to be? Well, you can see it on the screen right now. Oh, I don't like spiders and snakes, and we're going to Stafford Motor Speedway. That'll be fun. Round number 15. Oh, my goodness, 15. That means that's the penultimate round. That one and one more to go before we crown a champion. Will it be the Teapot? We don't know. He had a bad race tonight. But before then, the Bootleg Racing League has their doubleheader coming up. But, we're going to Oxford. Tune in anyway, and you can hear the commentator complain about the weird-shaped track. That'll be fun. All those broadcasts, featured and past, are all a production of the Virtual Grip Network. With that said, until next time, have fun storming the castle.